So here we are back at the tractor. Got the power take off in the direction that it goes. I'm pretty sure I have it correct. Yeah, I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure it goes this way. So now what we need to do is put it in through the back. I got my new gasket on here. Hope that it doesn't come apart in the process. And I have to line up the drive line, which I believe I'm in it, which is good. Let me swing this around. Get my gasket back on correctly, because of course it wants to keep falling off on me. I'm going to get a long drift pin to help me line this up as I put it in. This will help to line up my gasket as well. Make sure that okay, we are lined up, we are in. That went a lot easier than I ever could have imagined it would have. And that shifter still works. I have my bolts. Start putting them in. I can find out where they go. Now that takes a short bolt there, I think. All right, these are tricky to get in here. Let me see what's going on. You know, I have the wrong bolts is what I've got. Do I? I think I do. Let me go get the correct bolts. That's weird. Thought those were them. All right. Now I have the correct bolts. Put this back in. There we go. It always makes a difference when you have the correct bolts. Even though I think I'm missing one. Oops. Jeez, I got the dropsies. All right. There, in you go. All right, let me get a wrench to snug them up. I think I got too small. All right, here we go. Yeah, we're gonna get there. I think I'm missing a bolt though. And I've also noticed, as I'm putting these in, that these bolts all go through. So I need to put some thread sealant on them, so let me get that. All right. Now I'll put some thread sealant on these, because they go all the way through. And I do not want them to leak on us. So it's amazing how long it's taken to get to this point. Like I said, yeah, I don't work on it every day. I work on it pretty much on the weekends only. But, you know, it's a good testament of how long it takes to get to this point. For some reason, I'm still missing a bolt. I'm going to have to find out what I did with it. There's a part of me that thinks I may never have had it. because when I was cleaning this up, one of the holes had a bunch of garbage in it, like it didn't have a bolt in it at one point in time. And I wonder if maybe a bolt was missing. That's the only thing I can figure. I'm about to send thread sealant all over the place over here. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Might have just been missing one. It's not impossible. Go in nice and easy, and there it goes, just bottomed out. Okay, that's that one. Get these here that I put it underneath. So it is an investment in time, as we've talked about. It's nothing that happens quickly. It's also an investment of money. I often have people ask me, "Oh, don't you sell the tractors after you're done restoring them?" And they're pretty shocked when I tell them, "Well, I really don't, because I'm not going to make any money off of it. It's really hard to get out of these. Oh, the time and effort you put into them, and I don't like the way this is going in." That was going in a little hard. That one's going in awful hard for my liking. I hope I don't regret this. Yep, that's going way too hard. Something's not right in there. Everybody wonders why it takes so long. Yeah, that did not want to go in. I don't know why. Try the one on the other side here. Put some sealant on it. Maybe this one will go in easier. See what we get on this one. See if it goes in easier. Oh, that one's going in no problem. Yep, that one went in. Let me see if I can get this one above the other one to go in. And if so, what I might need to do is I'll take a tap and I'll run it through that other hole. There might just be some rust in there that escaped the cleaning process. It is totally probable. There we go. I wonder if that was the hole down there that I couldn't get the bolt in, that there wasn't a bolt in before. That's not impossible either. Maybe that has a lot to do with why there wasn't a bolt in there. So for now, I got this snugged up. It's on here. everything turns like it's supposed to. It looks like this is engaging. There we go. Now it's turning like it should. Disengage, runs free form. So I got that in. I'm going to take a look at this hole where the bolt had a hard time going in, see what's going on with that. Once I get that figured out and find a bolt for it, we're going to take and put the bearing cap on the end here. That'll close this up. So give me a second. Let me find out what's going on with that. So here we are back at the bend. I got my bearing cap here. Let me show you. I got my gasket on there, brand new gasket. I put a double seal in this one. I thought it was really interesting. Look at the size of the seal that came out of there. It is a double seal, but I was really impressed with how thick that is. You're not going to find anything like that today. Now I wonder why it never leaked, and it never did as far as I know, but I want to replace it. So I put two seals in there. Before I put it on, I'm just going to put a little bit of lubricant on the seal so we're not putting it in there dry. Just going to put a little bit of gear oil in here just to help it slip on over the shaft. And make sure that that gasket is lined up for the oil hole there. There's an oil hole right at the end here for oil to flow in here, so make sure you have that lined up correctly. And I'm going to real gentle push this over the shaft, line up my bolts. Just going to finger tight it down just to snug it up. And I got my wrench here. I think it's a 5/8. Get it going in the right direction. I'll just take and tighten that puppy up. And now we'll snug that down nice and tight. There we go. Everything turns nice and free. Nothing went on hard. I do want to come back to that bolt that was down here on the bottom. I stuck an awl in there, and it's a shallow hole, so it must have had a shallow bolt in it. Maybe one broke off inside. I found an extra bolt that I had that was shorter, that was the right length, and that's the weird thing about the hole, is it was a bolt length deep hole. So I found a bolt to fit in there. I put it in there. I tightened all those up, so that is all ready to go. We're not going to put the shield on right now. We'll do that later on when we're putting sheet metal on. We want to leave this exposed, so when we go to paint, that'll all get painted out. The next thing we need to do, we're at the point now we can cover this up. We are done with the inside of the transmission. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm out of breath here. I got my gasket. I'll get my gasket. We'll get the cover. We'll put it on. I'm sure it'll be a little tricky lining up the forks on the gears, but we'll figure that out. I'm going to use my engine lift to do that so I can lower in nice and gently. As we know, that cover weighs a blooming ton. So let me get that rigged up and we'll get this cover put on. So I've got my top rigged up here on the engine lift. Like I said, I couldn't imagine doing this without it unless you had a couple guys. The biggest trick with this is going to be lining up our shifter forks, but I think we should be in good condition. All I'm going to do is just take and lower it down little by little, make sure that those forks engage, everything goes down nice and smooth. We'll put our bolts in and we'll tighten those up and we'll have the transmission closed up finally. So let me start lowering this down. Of course, it wants to twist out of the way as soon as I let it go, but that's fine. We're just going to come down real easy, nice and slow. Make sure everybody's going to line up. And I've already got I think I'm a little bit too, I need to pull it back a bit here. Just gonna check that all of my shifter forks are gonna go into the slots on these gears, because that's gonna be the biggest trick. It looks like we're okay. I'm gonna watch my fingers. I'll lower it just a little bit. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. It needs to push toward the front a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little manipulating here. Make sure my gasket's good. My pin's just lined up. I'm going to lower it a little more, make sure my forks are still engaging. Get a flashlight to look in there and make sure. This one is good. I think we're good. Let's see if we can lower this. Weight's off. Maybe just my pins are not quite aligned just yet. I gotta grab it the right way, otherwise I'll lose my fingers. I think that's it right there. Taking all the weight off, let's see what happens. And not quite lined up. I'm going to shift where the weight on this transfers to. Let me see if I can pick up the front a little bit more than the back. I think it's the shifter forks that are just a little jammed up. Well, they all look like they're lined up. They're just not catching on this side. Come on, my pinholes to line up again. This might continue to just be a fight, basically because I don't have it perfectly level. And I may need to do that. See if I can jockey it around a little bit and not lose my fingers in the process. Just one of those things where you have to take your time, like everything else that we've done. I'll lower it just a bit more, not that much. Okay, I'm going to try lowering it again. not gonna do it. I'm still worried about losing my fingers. It's the shifter forks that are giving me the problem. So I was wondering if I picked up the back a little, if maybe they would fall into place. And that's not what's happening. Let's see if I can do that again from this end. See what happens. Nope. That's my pins in the back that it catches. And then for whatever reason, it does not want to go down with the forks. Close, so close. Jack it back up. I'm gonna try to shift more of this weight toward the front. No, I gotta do it the other way, excuse me. I just shift the weight toward the back here. See if I can land the back first, or the front first and the back last. See if that'll help. Okay, let's see what happens if I crank it up now. Well, there's definitely a problem. I definitely had a shifter fork that was out of position. Let's see if I can lower it down at all now. It's so close. So close. So close.